hate it.
Yeah.
Sparkling or still water?
Still?
This guy.
You drink sparkling water,
This
dude.
guy. I would, if I could only drink sparkling water, I would. I love sparkling. You don't like
Are
sparkling
you
water?
drinking sparkling water right now?
No, it's still water.
All right.
But no? Am I just crazy? I guess so. I guess I'm just crazy, Cody. You sparkling or still?
Still water.
Oh my gosh, I can't win this one, guys. Well, speaking of caffeine, shout out Positive Energy.
Pierre. Sparkling water
Perrier?
comes from
Perrier.
Pierre.
Perrier.
You know how I say it? That's why I say it.
Jake Bollman, welcome to the podcast, dude.
Thank you.
This is what, 2 weeks coming now?
Yep.
Since
2 weeks.
you decided to cancel on us. How many times?
Man, almost canceled today too.
Dang, dude, it's like that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Twice in a row.
Yeah.
I know where your loyalties lie. It's okay. It's all right. So, how are you? How you been? You been good?
Oh, I've been good. Yeah.
Coming off Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa.
Solid. That was solid day.
Yeah, solid. Can't get much better than that, right?
Anyway, so let's just jump into it. I mean, obviously you're leading the points right now, and chasing that championship as a rookie. That's got to feel good. Like just having that swagger to be number one, right?
Yeah, I feel like, we've honestly, we probably should have, won a race by now. And I feel like, we've had the speed this year in some races, but, I feel like the points deal comes just being consistent, just between me and really my crew chief. I feel like, we work really good together. Just, we're missing that, just raw speed every single week. And, we're hopefully, we're going to find it by the end of the year. And, I keep saying that, and, I feel like it's getting a little better here and there, but, just all about putting our minds to it and trying to keep going.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for me, shout out Rob Howden. He was actually the one who told me this a couple years ago. I was just like trying to chase my first win in the open wheel stuff, and it just wasn't coming. Like it wasn't happening. And then once it finally did, it's like you get that monkey off your back and you can go execute and get more of them. I feel like at least watching you've always put yourself in a position to win, and you're always there. And it's just, it'll come. I know it's so tough mentally. It's just like, dude, shut up. I've been told that 100 times, but it's just keep grinding, right? Just keep working.
Yeah, I feel like our speedway stuff was really good this year. Honestly, even our intermediate stuff, I feel like I've kind of picked up those tracks really well. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, that's honestly, I enjoy them. I feel like, obviously I've never done anything like that. The
right.
biggest track I've ever been on was 5/8, which is like North Wilkesboro or like Nashville Fairgrounds, right? And like I enjoy it. Like it's not even about like, going in the corner, braking on like a short track, and
right.
You can really play with the throttle and kind of put yourself anywhere you want if you can make it work, right? And I feel like that kind of, it's more of a driver's track, to be honest. I mean, I feel like that's why you see in the Cup Series and trucks and in Xfinity or O'Reilly's now, sorry, that they perform. The drivers that perform in that are the ones that are going to win the championships, right? Like,
right.
I feel like that's kind of where I put my focus on. Obviously, we have a dirt race coming this week.
Hence the dirt on the helmet.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing some little testing out in the backyard.
On the yard cart, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Iowa, what did you think of that place? Did you like it?
Honestly, it ain't no short track.
Right.
I think we were hitting 160 down the back stretch. Like, that's not, I would not consider that a short track.
Right.
I mean, it is small, but it is fast. Like,
it's cool.
It is. It's of course, like it's a short track, right? Like they call it that, and it's considered that. So, it is my favorite short track if I were to consider it that.
Right. So what did you feel about like the first time you went out there? At least for me, my biggest thing was having that yaw moment going in, and like there's no air on the side of the car, right? What was that like for you?
Honestly,
you are an oval guy.
Honestly, I feel like my crew chief, he made sure we started a little low on the pan.
Right.
So I felt like he kind of was being caution, like using the pan to keep me stable on entry just for the first initial time for myself on the racetrack. And it kind of just like calmed. I mean, it was a rough hit because, you know, that bump into one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then once we got it off, like the third time out, second time out, I was, you know, you started feeling that edge on entry. And I was like, we got to tighten this thing up. We got to tighten it up. We just every time out, we got to tighten it up on entry. Entry was like the main thing there at that place. Even in the race, like I feel like we still weren't tight enough on entry, but I don't know if you can, right? I bet you everyone was feeling that. And I think that's just the characteristic of the track.
Well, I feel like if you go too tight though, too, you get to the center and you're just pushing, right?
100%. Like there's definitely that fine balance. Like at the end of the race, I feel like we went, you know, another number and a half, call it, on the car, and definitely was too tight through the center. Like I feel like the middle of the race was probably my best speed, and then just mediocre at the end.
Right. I feel like it's a little bit comparable to dirt in a way because you can run different lanes.
You hear this guy?
Just because of the lane, you know, you can run different lanes. You know what I mean? You could try stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
in a way. Come on, help me out here. Don't make me look too bad, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wish that, you know, more cars would have got up to the higher lanes, top of the racetrack, right? I feel like, you know, it was just a bottom feeding race. I mean, restart would work good on the top.
Yeah.
Once tires came up to temp in the matter of the 3-4 laps, it just got too free up there for us.
Right.
You know, you see the Cup guys making it work because they put themselves up there, right? They have 15 cars running up top, and you know, if no one ventures up there, there's gonna be no rubber up there.
Yeah.
And our whole race had no rubber up there.
Okay.
It was just kind of like you could try to make it work, like, and kind of get under them off of 2. I feel like, you know, your passing there cannot be done off of 2. Like you cannot start a pass off of 2.
You set it up for 3 and 4.
You need to get under him, get a run down the front straightaway off of 4 to be able to, like, really, you know, you can almost clear yourself into 1, right? Because you can hang them out there and they can't drive in that hard on the top, top just because it's freer. Like when the Cup guys, and you know, they when they run the top, they back up their corners almost 2-3 car lengths, but they pick up the field 2 car lengths earlier. Right. So it's like almost a give and pass as long as you can make it work off of 4. That's always a harder part too, because, you know, they have so much runoff to the fence.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't, right? Yeah. So it's all about just timing your run. And honestly, one guy that, you know, I was behind a long time of the race, like straight 15, 20 laps, was Angie Jankowiak. You know, he won Talladega. And, you know, his spotter, TJ Majors, I do some work with him, and just every big track and all about aero. Like I've learned a ton about it this year and trying to just keep working on it. And he knows how to aero block.
Really? Yeah.
You know, he'll be running, man, like even other tracks that we've been to, it is not easy to pass them. I'll tell you that.
That's the big thing about Iowa is you can do that. LeVar Scott was doing that to us last year. And that was the biggest learning curve for me. Was, granted, in the open wheel stuff, like, yeah, you had aero wash, but it's different in the stock cars because you can use the aero when you're behind somebody. Like you can pack air on somebody, you can put it on their door, and, you know, it changes everything.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, I'm pretty decent at aero blocking myself, but I need to just get better at knowing when I'm getting aero blocked on what to do to fix myself. Right. I feel like that's where I was struggling with him, right? Like, you know, my car would not really work. Like you either enter above him, but there was no second lane truly, right? Yeah. So it was more of just like worry about you run off the corner and kind of kill the entry, but just worry about the exit.
So let's start from the beginning, right? You obviously grew up in legend cars, late models. You did ARCA West. What was it? How did your story begin? Like, what made you want to be a race car driver?
Well, honestly, you know, at 3 years old, you don't really know what the world is, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember what I was doing at 3 years old, right?
Right. I don't remember what happened last week, dude.
I mean, I think that was, you know, pre-kindergarten or whatever it was back then, or I don't even know at 3 years old what you're doing in school, but yeah, I remember I was at school and I just was told, right? And you know, my dad used to race Lucas Oil off-road, kind of what Johnny Greaves does and CJ Greaves, short course stuff. And I did that. or he did that. And, at that age, you don't know, right? Like I said, and I drew a car one day and I said, I can't wait to race. Like, I doubt I wrote it, right? But, teacher did maybe, or somebody.
Yeah.
And, ever since then, once my dad saw that, I think his whole passion kind of changed, and he kind of started working towards me, and hopped in a go-kart, not even a couple months later, and just started running laps just at, a local track, and,
Right.
A little Comer 50, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
was 3 or 4 years old when I first did it. It was in my neighborhood, actually, and he had a ratchet strap on the back of the cart, just because obviously we probably could have just said throttle stop.
Yeah.
But still, you can only set a throttle stop so far, just in case, he'd tug back, slow it down. I mean, the cart was,
tiny, right?
Smaller than this table.
Yeah.
A lot. And so that's kind of how it all started. And then I turned 8. I did my first full season of off-road, and did that for 2 years. And, at 9 and 10-ish, she was like, you want to keep going. And, at that age, as a kid, when you find that speed and the adrenaline, like, who wants to stop?
Exactly.
Who wants to stop now?
Yeah.
Right. So I hopped into Bandolero. I didn't run it much. I probably only ran it, 12 races, that not a lot.
Yeah.
It was just, I felt like it was kind of slow. What I was used to, like the horsepower that I was driving in the off-road stuff, I was racing against 16-year-old kids, and I was 10. Like, that age class, it was just a big age class, and they were very fast. Like,
Right.
I wrecked a lot. One time I was just out testing, and I wrecked so bad I was twirling in the air. I landed on the nose, and thankfully my eyes didn't go bloody, but yeah. So I mean, it just went from there. From bandos, hopped in a legend car I was starting to test at early 10, early, because by the time I got turned 10 and a half, I was just running laps every single week.
Right.
Turned 11, got INEX to approve me to start early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back then it was 12 years old was the minimum age.
Right.
And turned 11, and it was game on. Had a motorhome, and we drove it across the country. Guy I was with, still with to this day, that I still run with, and Donnie St. Hours, he taught me everything. Like, everything to know about asphalt racing came from him.
That's awesome.
I mean, I've been with him for 7 years.
Yeah.
Never left, never, we've had our ups and downs. We destroyed a lot. I remember one time we were at I think it started at Roseville. ARCA goes there, obviously, and we probably put 20 races on this one chassis, and the whole pinion link just popped out of the chassis.
Ooh.
Like, the whole bar, that just, the back bar right there, and it just pulled out just from, like, putting that many laps on the car. And anyway, so yeah, just started racing junior late models at Madera Speedway, kind of what Brexton Bush was doing this year. I mean, I can keep going on and on about it, right? We just kept going, and it's just never stopped, never slowed down. It just kept getting busier.
And I mean, honestly, though, that's the side of that people want to see, right? Like, they want to know where you started, where you come from. It's that, granted, it's that wholesome moment, right? Yeah. But who would have thought when you were 8 years old, if they told you you'd be racing an ARCA now? I mean, right?
Every year blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, like, this year when I got the phone call, like, it happened 2 weeks before the Daytona test.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that. A week and a half, maybe. And, I'm not going to say, like, my mouth dropped, right? But, like, it was that moment, like,
sure,
of, wow, like,
we're doing it.
Yeah. Like, this is what, like, takes guys to the next level. And, we're still, trying to, get stuff figured out for next year. And I mean, I don't want to ever stop, but, we're just going to keep going.
It's funny. Like, I think you and I are in similar positions, different, but similar.
Yeah.
Obviously we're not the richest people out there and can just, pay for everything, but trying to find sponsors and that work ethic, right? That's what it takes. But it's cool to see, when I look at your story, and we've both ended up racing an ARCA. Obviously you with the national stuff, and I've done a couple races, right? I'm not full-time or anything like that, but to see look, I went open. I was at IndyCar racing, right? And the USF Pro Champs, and you came from off road, and to see where two worlds collide, it's cool to see, and it's crazy to think about in a way. And so, in that off road stuff, is that where you met Max Gordon?
No, actually, well, funny story. So like, my dad obviously used to race desert racing and all that, kind of what Robbie did. And,
Yeah.
They've just crossed paths. That Robbie lived, probably at one point, 30 minutes from my dad, and they just kept crossing paths. And we have a kind of a vacation house, call it, not really, but in Arizona, and that's where kind of Max used to live and Havasu, and Robbie has been there his whole life, and just small world, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know when the first time I hung out with him was, but it was there, and we just always kept in contact out here. When he was out here a couple summers ago, we all hung out for weekends on end, and just there, just small world, right?
It was so funny. It was 4th of July weekend, and I was over because every time Max is here, he's usually here for 4th of July, and every time he's here, we always get together and grab bite to eat and hang out. And it was so funny. We were sitting there in the basement just chilling, hanging out, and he picks up his phone and he FaceTimes you, and I didn't know he was FaceTiming you at the time, and you were on your back, I think coming from Chicagoland, I think it was at the time, and I'm like, Max, who are you calling? He goes, Jake Bollman. I said, you know Jake? He goes, yeah, you know Jake? I said, yeah, he races for Nitro too, whatever. And he turned the phone around, and there you were. It was just small world, It's like,
honestly,
crazy small world.
That my dad, they've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
And just from the racing world, I mean, Robbie was always, big time, right? Because, he's literally done everything and almost won in everything that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just, I don't think he's done F1 yet, has he?
Someone check that.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe, probably. To be honest,
it's Robbie.
Back
maybe
in the '90s.
Yeah, in the heyday, right?
Yeah. So I mean, great kid. I think he's definitely going to go far places. Like the truck he's driving now is insane. I mean, I think they just got it up to 151 twin engine trophy truck. Right.
That's awesome, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
If I retired and Cup and whatever, hopefully that happens one day. I would go back to doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it is
I've never done it. So
it is an adrenaline rush that never stops for 24 hours.
Max, put me in, coach. No, but that's so cool. And it's funny, right? Like I've known Max since I was probably 4. Like we grew up, my dad and Robbie were buddies. Obviously they live literally right down the street, or their house here is right down the street. And just to look back on old videos of us, on little 50cc dirt bikes with training wheels and, whatever. It's just, it's so weird how big the racing world is.
It's not.
But how tiny it is. I mean, from here to Europe, it doesn't matter what it is. Everybody knows everybody somehow.
Yeah. I bet you if I list off, 15 names, which I'm not, but if I were to list off 15 names that I know that I wouldn't think you knew, you would.
I'd probably know some of them. Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
So small from all different types of racing. Just, honestly, a lot of kids come from California that you don't know. And, not, just bringing that up, like, there's like the Herps.
Yeah.
Riley Herps, for example, 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Right.
Right. They came from the off-road world. He did too. He was obviously, 4 or 5 years before me, I think. He was still racing off-road, maybe longer. Just, there's a lot of kids came from that, what I, started in. That's kind of how I got my path, right? Following the kids that have already done it.
Yeah.
Haley Deegan, for example, right? Like, she did come from the off-road world. Like when I was racing off-road, she still was.
Okay.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know, she did the ARCA West, back then, and then, climbed the ranks. But, it's just a lot of kids started in that because that's what was there in California, right? For the younger generation, unless you went karting, right?
Right.
You either chose karting or that, or if you want to do the micro sprint stuff, but it was really dirt or karting. Yeah. Out there.
Jade was doing, for someone like Jade who did the micro sprint stuff. And then like, I've got a buddy, his name's Jake Drew. He was karting and
Very good friends with Jake Drew.
Are you actually? Do you know Jake?
Yeah, very well.
Really? That's so cool. That's awesome. No, Jake's a good buddy of mine. So shout out Jake Drew. But yeah, it comes from the karting world and it, ends up in ARCA, right? Like ARCA West did all that. Like, I don't know. There's so many different pathways to get to where we are. And, you know, it's just crazy to see how big the racing world is, but how small it is at the same time.
Yep.
So, I mean, shoot, last year was my first time out west. First time, because we went to snow. It's my first time ever
Right.
going out west.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, Portland, I guess. But so so you moved here when you were, what, 16, 17?
I just turned 16 and I drove across the country by myself.
And you're, what, 17 now? I'm kidding.
Yeah. 19 now. I wish I was 17 still. I wish.
Yeah.
You know.
So you moved here. And what did that look like for you? What was your goals moving here? Late model racing? Like what was at least the reasoning behind that?
Really, I mean, you know, I it was a long discussion, like with my parents and my dad, but it was time, right? Like, you know, I said I was going to move out here at 14 just to have the experience and the exposure, because I'm not going to say racing isn't big over there, but you know, it's a lot bigger out here.
Right.
Right.
And all the teams are here and stuff. Yeah.
A lot more eyes, and, you know, same boat you're in, right? Like, you know, we got to do good to make a name for ourselves.
We have to win.
Right. We have to win.
Yeah.
And you know, I wanted to win in front of the best, not only the best race or the best car, but, you know, I just wanted to win in front of them, right? The eyes. That's all I'm trying to do this year, really. And, you know, show the talent that I have. This was probably this year, honestly, was, you know, the biggest opportunity I was ever given. Right. You know, I've always been in cars that are good, not great. Right. I've never been in like a, you know, the best car in the world. Right.
Right.
And this year, you know, it is a good car. You know, as a team, we're getting better.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's just fighting every day for it, right? It just doesn't, the grind never stops, call it.
Well, and it's so true. And I think that's the mentality too of, you know, you want to win every race, right? Every time we get in the race car, we want to win. And that's just our nature. But at the end of the day, if you can maintain that consistency, which you've shown that obviously this year you've done a really good job at, that does get you to the end, right? It has proven to win championships. And I feel like, granted, right now, of course you want to win, but keeping that consistency, but also having the mental strength to push through and keep working. I mean, there's so many times that I've, you know, been on the phone with people and just be like, yeah, man, got to keep working. But it's so true. I mean, we always say it, but it's so true. So those catchphrases and cliches, it can be so negative, but it can be positive. It's all kinds of different things, but it's all about your mental state, I feel like. Yeah.
And honestly, like, you know, anyway, you know, talking about mental state, I feel like, you know, I've always been in a great place. Like I've always, you know, been matured, but that's only because I was traveling the country, you know, without a parent.
Yeah.
You know, at 12, 11 years old.
Makes you grow up fast.
I had to grow up. I didn't have a choice. Right?
Exactly.
Moving here at 16, call it.
Do you feel like you've given up part of your childhood to chase these dreams?
You know,
I'm just interested to hear what you have to say, because there's different ways you can look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel like I've had a great, call it high school years of not being in high school.
Right.
You know, I still, you know, there's some off weekends, you know, we get to go out on the boat here, and, you know, having that has kind of made it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't have the lake and you didn't have the, you know, your friends here that, you know, I knew prior to coming out here.
Sure.
I feel like it would have been more of a struggle for sure.
Right.
But, you know, there were still some afternoons where I was just alone in my apartment here, you know, but I'm doing it for what I love.
Right.
What do I care sitting at the house when I get home at 6 o'clock to go to bed at 9, right? Or 10. What does it matter?
I mean, you're chasing your dreams.
You're chasing your dream, right? I feel like that's the mentality that, you know, everyone should have. I have a question for you, actually. Have you lived here your whole life?
So I was born in Chicago originally, but I moved here when I was about 3. So I pretty much, I've been here my whole life.
Why'd you guys move down here, if you don't mind me asking?
So my dad lived here. He's from Ohio, but he moved here in 95. And then my mom and him were doing long distance for years, right? And then they got married, and they had me and my sister. She's 30. But they were living in Chicago, and my dad was here, and they were, you know, back and forth all the time. And then when I was about 3 years old, 2.5, 3 years old, my mom was like, all right, let's do it. We're going to come to North Carolina. build a house and we'll move down here and bring everybody together. And part of that, my sister was just finishing up middle school, so she would start high school here, and be able to make those friends and be able to, yes, it's a fresh start, but it's also kind of a fresh start for everybody in a way with high school,
no
and not moving in the middle of, middle school, whatever. And that's what brought me here. And funny enough, where we built the first house when we lived here, it's right down the street from here actually, but it was right across the street from Ricky Rudd. Really? And that's how I got my start in racing. Was my dad and Ricky became buddies, and they used to ride mountain bikes all the time together. And then Ricky had a garage up at Trackhouse Motorplex, GoPro Motorplex, previously known, and which now actually we share that garage up there. And he got my dad in a go-kart just to go play and have fun. And then one day, my dad brought me up there, and I was just hanging out with him, watching him. And, when I was a little kid, I was about 5 or 6 years old. And then my mom said, my dad owned a power sports business called Interstate Cycle at the time. And my mom said, no dirt bikes, no motorcycles, not going to happen.
Yeah, my mom said the same thing.
Little did she know, when dad said, hey, we're going to get him a go-kart. Ricky and I, we're going to get him a go-kart, put him in a go-kart. She's thinking, just a yard cart, whatever, like no big deal. And here we are, 12 years later, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's what brought me here. And honestly, it's all I've really known. I go back to Chicago because my mom's side of the family's there. But yeah, I'm glad I live here. I don't think I could do the winters in Chicago.
Yeah, honestly, I've never had a 4-season living, right?
Well, you were here this year for the storms, yeah.
Even the prior years, like this one was probably the worst, but
yeah, we get these every 15 years or so. Don't worry.
Coming from California, it's from coldest it gets in the day is 65, and the hottest it gets is 85.
Yeah,
year round.
But it's beautiful, and well.
So going back there when it's wintertime, I don't even have to wear a hoodie.
Bet you love the humidity.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. Definitely.
It sucks.
The air over there is a lot better to breathe, but just say,
dude, I sweat down all the time, dude. I'm sweating right now. 24/7 in the summertime, dude. I'm sweating when I go to bed. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but I like it here.
I love it. There's no better place on earth for sure.
Racing's here, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's where you choose to make home, right? It's up to you. So if you build those people around you, and your friends and your family, I call my closest friends, they're my family, and it's about how you want to make where your home is. So
for sure.
What part of California are you from?
Huntington Beach.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know where any of that is, so I'm going to pretend like I do and just look like I know.
The Mexico border.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego is obviously just had the big San Diego race, right? Probably about an hour and 20 minutes north of the coastline.
Okay, yeah. So getting on the PCH and cruising was fun, huh?
All the way up, man.
I've done it once.
Really?
Yeah, we went from...
Where'd you start?
Sonoma.
And you went down?
And we went down to Laguna Seca.
All right.
So, hey, it was cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to do it in like some really cool supercar, right? Instead of a little rental car, but still the same vibe, I guess. But so now, granted, you obviously grew up super fast, being in the racing world. I feel like though it gives you an edge, right? Like when you look at it, no one would think you're 19.
No.
You know what I mean? You talk like you're older, and
and I feel like that's where where I've gotten today is because of that.
Sure.
Right. Because obviously I don't have my parents aren't out here, so I'm not going to say parent supervision, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's more like, my dad making the deals, going to meet the teams. Like it's me.
Yeah. I got to put the big boy pants on.
I got to get in my truck and I got to drive.
Very cool truck, by the way. That thing's sick.
Anyway,
it's cool.
Very fortunate to have what I have. Thank you. Worked a lot of hours at my dad's business for that.
Hey, it looks great, dude. A little dirty from the dirt track, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's still dirty. I haven't washed it. But anyway, it's tough as like a younger kid to go up there in a new shop that you don't know anybody, and you got to walk in the door and make conversation with grown men. Not saying I'm not one yet, obviously.
Dude, you can grow the facial hair.
Hey, I had a mustache the other week. Okay?
Did you really? Oh yeah, you did. That was great. You should bring that back.
I don't know.
I hear the ladies like mustaches.
Roger Penske. Talking about him. You see his shop, and no facial hair.
No facial hair, yeah.
Clean. The only driver he allows is Ryan Blaney, okay?
Well, Will Power, shout out Will. He's started growing it out now that he's racing with Andretti. So
see,
hey.
I'm telling you.
What Mr. Penske says goes.
My dad always told me, no facial hair.
Hey, I shaved just for you today, bud. Just for you.
Hair. During the week, no interviews. You can do what you want.
Hear that?
Before race weekend,
smooth as a baby's butt, dude. When did you shave last?
Yesterday.
If you shave in the morning, you got the shadow at night, man.
No, not yesterday. I shaved the night before. But yeah, so technically, if you want to call it yesterday.
Yesterday, there you go. Yesterday, early morning.
About 50-something hours ago.
It's back.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Can you grow a full beard?
Honestly, the longest I've ever grown out is about 2 weeks, and it gets pretty long. And I can't. I'm in that. You're in that stage of not there, so I don't know.
I'm not there yet.
Maybe over winter I might try something, but
yeah,
just keep my face warm.
I see these UFC fighters, right? And I love watching the UFC. I don't know if you're into boxing or MMA or whatever, but
I watched the White House fight. I watched a couple of them.
That was straight America, dude. We had this year's been great. We've had the White House fight. We had the race out at Coronado. Like, we've had some pretty cool stuff this year.
Yeah, it's been great.
But if I was a fighter, I'd have a beard too. It's extra padding, in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I wonder if they have I'm sure they have a length limit, right?
Yeah, because the one guy, I forget his name, he's got to braid it.
See, I'd be the type of guy to just I'd grab it and just pull it down. That's how I'd take him down.
Easy by his chin.
Easy way, dude. Easy.
So, transitioning a little bit, right? What's enough for Jake Bollman? Obviously we're chasing a win, right? But how do you go about every week and just keep that mental fortitude because honestly, look, granted, racing is physical, 100%. We got to train, we do what we do, but I'd argue that it's a lot more mental than it is physical straining. How do you, after a bad week or even a good week, but how do you pick yourself back up?
I smile every time I get out of the car. Doesn't matter how I finish. I laugh.
Enjoy it.
It's not that I don't care. Some people think that.
Yeah.
It is a look that, I should probably, be better about getting out of the car when I'm, smiling that we finished 15th. I'm not, our worst finish this year was 17th at Talladega, got wrecked out of the lead. But I was still happy, right? Like I feel like that's why I'm, my mental state is, good because I accept everything right off the bat.
Right.
Accept it, move on.
Just hit it head on.
Try harder the next week.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't ever give up. Unless you have to, right? Some kids don't have a choice, and they don't have a choice but to give up. And I, hopefully, me and you don't ever get to that point.
Right.
But, there's always a slight chance, but I don't think about that either. That's just like drowning your sorrows away. Right.
Right.
So, I just really man, I look at it like some kids don't ever get to do what we're doing now. Right. So you can't take anything for granted because, tomorrow's never promised.
Exactly. It's funny. I was racing for Pabst Racing, and I used to get out of the car after, if we qualified 5th, and that was bad for us. Like, we were always obviously chasing poles, whatever. It was this one race. I can't remember exactly where we were, but we qualified like 6th or 7th. Don't do it. But honestly, I got out of the car and I was just pissed, right? I was upset. I was like, man, what do we need to do better? Do we need to get the car better? What do I need to do? All that stuff, right? And my team owner, Augie Papsty, called me into his office, and I'm like, oh, crap, here we go. I'm getting yelled at. And I walk in, and he goes, sit down. So I sit, and Augie's taught me a ton about not just racing, but life. And, I thank him a ton. But he said, Sam, when you get out of the race car, we know you care. We know that you give a crap about it. We get it. We know you care. But when you get out and you qualified like 6th, you're fine. You can race. We're going to be fine. Shake it off. Just move on. It's going to be okay. Like, you are okay. You're a good enough driver. You'll figure it out. But it's just, I was so mad, and you could see it on my face. And he's like, man, we know you care. Just shake it off. Just move on. It's done. It's over with. You can't change it. So that's the biggest thing. And I learned so much that day, and it changed how I looked at everything. Now, when I get out of the race car and it was bad, it's like, okay, what do we need to do better? Once we learn it, we go. A failure is not a failure unless you don't learn. But if you learn from what you've messed up, then it's just learning, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And I just feel like, my dad was always hard on me, right?
Mhm.
When I was younger, not saying, he was, he didn't beat me or anything, but, he was hard, right? And I feel like that's kind of why I am to this day is like, it's all right. He's not always there at the racetrack, right? So I just have to kind of be my own parent, really.
Mm-hmm.
As a 19-year-old kid, I guess some don't, but, I just really focus on trying to move on to the next week. Like, second I get on the plane back, like I'm already watching film for the next week.
Right.
Move on. If it wasn't a good week, it wasn't our week.
You can only control what you can control.
Exactly.
I live by that, and it's so tough.
Move on and try to do better the next week.
Yeah.
Right?
All you can do is your actual best. And I don't mean just say, I did my best, but if you actually do your true best and you give everything you have and leave it out on the table, some days your best is going to be good enough to win. Some days your best might be a little less than your competitors, but it's just how it works, man. It's the world we live in. So I feel like it's all about perspective in a way. I feel like life is perspective. But like if you had one more year left to race, and you knew that, let's say, next year you're racing in the Cup Series and you have 1 year and then you're done. Can't change it, but that's how it's going to be. What would you change? Would you approach it any differently than you are now?
No. Absolutely not.
I love that. I love that answer.
No.
Yeah. I love that answer.
I mean, like I said, next year isn't promised for me either.
I get you.
I can win the championship and do all this good, but it's still
costs what it costs.
You got to write a check.
Yeah.
And, that's everywhere now.
Yeah.
But, the world, it's gotten expensive, right? And,
dude, you can't buy a coffee for less than $7.
What are you going to Starbucks?
Heck no.
You can find a coffee, gas station coffee, man. I don't drink
gas station coffee is really good.
No, I don't drink gas station coffee. I don't drink any coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
No, I don't drink
no
coffee.
Caffeine.
No.
I
mean, like I ran a double week at after Iowa. I ran late model stock car store at Hickory.
You had a little caffeine.
I had a half a Red Bull. Yeah, I don't really drink much soda anymore either.
I don't drink pop. Yeah,
I don't.
I'm good with my club soda and lime.
Yeah, caffeine's kind of.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Sparkling or still water?
Still.
This guy.
You drink sparkling water.
This guy. I would, if I could only drink sparkling water, I would. I love sparkling. You don't like sparkling water?
Drinking sparkling water right now?
No, it's still water.
All right.
But no? Am I just crazy? I guess so. I guess I'm just crazy, Cody. You sparkling or still?
Still water.
Oh my gosh, I can't win this one, guys. Well, speaking of caffeine, shout out Positive Energy.
Pierre. Sparkling water comes from
Perrier.
Pierre.
Perrier.
You know how I say it? That's why I said it.
Perrier.
Yeah. Sure.
Can we get like a San Pellegrino sponsorship? That'd be cool. For me, because you don't drink. It's fine. You don't drink sparkling water. I drink it. It's fine. You stick with your Smart Water. Shout out Smart Water. Shout out.
9.5. pH and 9.5 ounces.
There you go, guys. That's you heard it here first. So let's jump in the driver's mind, right? Let's just jump inside of that brain of yours. However big or small, it's okay. We won't go there. But when you're gearing up for a race, right? Do you have any pre-race rituals?
No.
Do you put one glove on before the other one? Nothing?
No.
You just jump in and drive.
Yeah.
Is there that light switch that goes off, or are you listening to music before you get in the car to get in the zone, or are you just
no?
He's a simple man. Can we get some Leonard Skinner, Simple Man? Pop it up.
I just really yeah, I don't really worry about nothing. I feel like that's just
you're a really chill guy. Right? You're a really chill guy.
I just keep my heart rate down as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I like saying talking about working out.
Yeah.
And when your heart rate gets up to the 160, 180 range for a long period of time, like your brain is running out of oxygen.
Yeah.
it is not thinking as well, right? So starting the race is a very big thing that I mean, I'm not going to say it's a pre-race ritual, but I take a lot of deep breaths, and I'm not going to say it does anything for me, right? But I'm just saying it's all about keeping yourself calm to when you start the race going into turn one, you're not,
oh my God, I'm going to go. Yeah.
Right. It's just another lap.
Yep.
Just another lap, just another restart.
Do you feel that helps you just that breathing calm you down before you get in the race car? I mean, do you even get nervous anymore?
No.
Nah, yeah, I figured.
No. The reason why I don't get nervous is I really have never. I did get nervous one time I was young. I was qualifying for the Snowflake, pretty
high
wild,
stakes.
Pretty high stakes, right? You have a chance qualifying the B, right? I did it once, actually. I did qualify in the B first year. I was 14 or 13. No, not my brightest moment in qualifying, but come back the next year, qualified 10th, and I feel like that was another eye-opener race for me, right? Stephen Nassy qualified 8 spots behind me, right?
Right.
He is one of the best super late model driver.
Oh yeah.
In the country, and it really everything I've done. I haven't won a lot of races, to be honest, right? I've won a lot of legend car races, but the bigger car stuff, I've always ran the highest level of I could do, right? So I'm always at that young age of running against guys that have been doing it for years, and I'm always starting out. So I feel like that's my win count in my late model side, and that stuff isn't that big because, I'm always running against the best, and, I'm trying to be the best, right? I'm not going to say I'm the best right now because I'm 19.
Yeah.
It takes time. Back in the day, you didn't start racing until you were 20 years old, until your brain was developed.
Well, but it takes maturity to be able to admit that. And I give you a lot of props for saying that. A lot of guys that come, I'm the best to ever do it. I wake up and pee excellent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
And so I just, there's still stuff right now that I have to get better at.
Yeah. Don't we all? Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm surprised that I'm running as well as I am this year, but, it didn't just come from nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't just show up one day at Daytona and hope for the best.
Yeah. I mean, it comes from preparation and hard work.
Yeah.
That's how I was raised. It's like, if you want to do something, you make sure you prepare and you work as hard as you possibly can to get there.
Yeah.
And that's it. I feel like at the end of the day, all we have to do is work hard. And I hear it all. We hear it all the time that if you work hard, you can get anything you want. And that's tough. That's tough to wrap your head around, because it's like, well, we work so hard and we're, you know what I mean? We're trying to make it to the next level, and that next step it's tough. It's tough to even get to. It's tough to do this level, right? Yeah. So, but do you feel like you can be too confident in a way?
No, not really. I don't really, the reason why I'm not is because
I don't say that meaning you're not humble, because you're one of the most humble guys I've met.
I know what you meant by that. It's more like anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that I expect for the worst. I don't prepare myself for the worst, but it's more like, that's the same reason, going back to why I get out of the car smiling when we get wrecked or something, right? Like
I get to drive a race car.
Yeah. It's going back to that.
Yeah. Right? I get it. I get it.
You just got to try to do your best. We keep saying that, but I mean,
that's so true.
That's the reality of it.
I sat down last year. We were at Laguna Seca, and I was with my dad, and we were sitting there, and I'm just like, holy crap, man. I'm at Laguna Seca in a race car. I could be in school right now, and I'm sitting here about to drive a race car. That's the coolest. Like, that's so cool to me. And it's not like I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I'm in a race car. I'm sitting there like, I get to do this. Like, I don't have to go to the racetrack. I've heard people say that, I have to go to the race this weekend. I wish I could sit on. It's like, man, I'd give anything to go racing every week.
Honest, I've said it before too. I'm just, I mean, I have, but it's like, we get to go do what we love. And who knows how long it's going to last. But at the end of the day, it's like, we could be working behind a desk right now, and instead we get to strap in a race car and go race against the best guys out there. So no doubt,
it's pretty damn cool.
Either way, I'm going to live my life though.
Yeah.
Like whether I, I've gotten myself this far, my only goal is to leave my name in something big, at least.
Yeah.
Winning the ARCA Menards Series championship will It isn't enough, like you said, for me, but
Is it ever?
no.
Greg Stump said that. He said to me, because you race car drivers are insane. You want to, make it to cup, and then you want to be a cup winner, and then a cup champion, and then a 2-time, 3-time, 4-time. Is it ever stop? And it doesn't.
No, it doesn't ever stop. But, if something were to happen, winning this would kind of, I left my name in history at least.
Right.
I did my best. I tried my best. We did our best.
You can go out knowing that you worked as hard as you could.
Yeah. And it just didn't happen.
That's all you can really do.
And I accept the reality of that.
What does a day look like for Jake Bollman?
Man, it's actually funny. I'm a worker. Like, I love wrenching on stuff and working on stuff. And so I'm always in the shop.
Every time I go, he's there.
Yeah. that's my deal.
Yeah. I love it.
So, I get up, go work out at TPC, Toyota Performance Center, right?
Yep.
Very fortunate to have that. That's another thing that's a big play. And then I'm at the shop, that
working your butt off
around my guys, right?
Yeah.
Showing them that I care. I show up for them, right? I take them to lunch once or twice a week. The whole team
goes a long way.
My team, right? 20 team, right? It just shows them that I actually care.
Yeah.
Right. And I appreciate what they do. And, most nights they don't leave till 7-8 o'clock, but they ain't got a choice.
They're working their butts off. Yeah.
So I take them to lunch. It shows them my appreciation, and I do it the best I can for them. Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. So are you a car guy? You into cars?
No. Yeah. No, not really a car guy. Like I said, I'm good with my truck outside, and no.
So, okay. Well, I'm still going to ask you this question, whether you're a car guy or not. I do it on every podcast. I've missed a couple, I'll be honest. But if you could drive one last car, you were going to die tomorrow, and you could drive any car you wanted. You get a street car and you get a race car. What are those cars going to be?
Super late model.
Really?
Yep.
Out of all the race cars in the world, super late model.
Yep.
Where?
You ever heard of Winchester?
Mm-hmm. I've never seen it or been there.
I've never been there either.
But there.
It is.
Super late at Winchester.
Yeah.
How about a street car? You even have one?
Yeah.
I'm asking the wrong guy this question. I mean, there's got to be something that's like, that's sick.
I do have a Ferrari Pista. I feel like that's a very good looking car. It's not too much. I'm like the type of guy, man, I'd rather drive in, a 2005 F-150 and single cab, right? I'd rather drive that instead of that.
I love how simplistic that is. I love that. Keep it simple, stupid.
I just, I'm not gonna say I'm not a show off, right? Like,
yeah.
We're all showing off in this world.
Hell
right?
yeah.
Like, that's the point, right? You're racing, right? That is the name of the sport.
Yeah.
Truthfully, it is.
Yeah, sure.
You can't not say that. So, but yeah, that's always been kind of a car that I kind of love. I do like a Ford GT, Sorry, Toyota. But
just say the GRGT.
Old one though, like
the old school
original Ford GT. So not the not the new one, but
the old one.
Yeah, just from watching Ford versus Ferrari, I like that.
That's badass. Yeah.
Man, but yeah, I'd probably stick with the Pista. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Performance Based Podcast. Jake Bollman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Shout out Valvetronic. Shout out Positive Beverage. You want to shout anybody out? Right there.
Smart Water. We're forgetting one thing on this podcast. So what our main goal was for here today.
Hey, okay. Quick ad for you. This is not a paid promotion, but Melon Hat, we need a sponsor. Melon Hat, we need a sponsor. Hit that one too.
Make sure we tag them.
Tag
this.
Melon Hat. This is going to be a clip that's going out on Instagram. Cody, you know it.
Anything helps. Anything helps.
Maybe some free hats.
Anything.
We'll put them all over this dang table. We'll put you up on the wall.
Race cars, even
race cars,
live
anything.
TV.
We need some Melon hats. These are the best.
Yeah, they're the most comfortable hat. Oh,
you can wash them. They're great.
Oh, the best.
Melon, you know what to do. Let's get it done. Come on. And other than that, thank you for being on the show today. It means a lot to me. Always, brother.
You're making funny faces. There you go. Good. Look great.
You can see.
Say hi, Jake Bollman.
Alright, but you
Say hi, Cody.
Yo.
Should we vlog?
It's probably hella zoom.
You look through there. It is hella zoom.
All up in your face.
Oh yeah, wow.
We're gonna post this clip.